CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all cycle on your black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. Happy Monday. It is Monday. Come on in, my friends. I am so happy to see you today. I'm happy that it's Monday. Hopefully, I'm not too loud. You know, I'm a little excited about being on here. There's something is just going on with this Facebook page. Yo, okay. So my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page. Remember when every time I come live, I got to go turn it on and make it public, right? On my personal Facebook page. Well, now it won't even go public until after the live is over. So I can't even, like, right now it's on my personal Facebook. It's like on 8 different platforms. We're on we're not on Instagram right now. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on a few YouTube channels. And so my personal Facebook page is doing this weird thing where you cannot make it public while it's live for some reason. I use this thing called StreamYard to push it out on all these different platforms. Anyway, my friends. So that's what I was trying to do, because I tried to do it when I was off. Now I'm trying to do it when I'm on. And it's just weird. I don't know why. But anyway, it's okay. We're going to rock with it anyway. How was your weekend, everybody? Okay, so this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where we always try to talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. Because when you blow your money, what? Ain't a damn thing funny. So let everybody know we're going to talk about some real good stuff today. Now, I always try to talk about things that are important to you, that are going to enhance your life in some way. I always try to talk about things that are going to bring value. I don't come here without trying to bring value in one way or another. So if this is your first time watching, put in the comments. It's your first time watching, okay? Also, I know we have people that watch from all over the world. So whether you're watching from the United States of America, maybe Chicago, maybe DC, maybe California, maybe, Sacramento, Stockton, Oakland, San Jose, my old stomping grounds, to the DC, Maryland, Virginia, New York, wherever you're watching from. If you're in Texas, like Booker Williams in Fort Worth, put it in the comments box, okay? If you're from across the world, because I know we have people that watch from other parts of the country, put that in the comments as well. And then the other thing, you already know this is a dialogue and not a monologue. What's up, Naomi from New York City, baby? I got to get out there. I want to go and see some plays out there. But if you have a Black-owned business, or you know of a Black-owned business, I want you to promote. I always want to promote my Black-owned businesses. Why? Because it is imperative that we do business with one another. We cannot close the wealth gap without, 1, investing in ourselves, but number 2, doing business with people who look like us. That's the only way we're going to make it. We got to know, we are in this together. Nobody is going to come and save us. I love posting all about Black history and Black resilience, Black wealth, Black excellence. I love posting about that. And it's so funny because I post about it on my public figure page on Facebook at I Am Constance Carter. And boy, when I talk about Black excellence, the white trolls come out in droves. They hate it. Now, yesterday I did a post, and I'm like, and I said the same thing that I always say to you guys, my audience, right? I said, listen, Black folks, even though we've only really had like the last 50 years, and they've had a 400-year head start, Black folks are still, 44% of us are homeowners. That's nearly half of us are homeowners, in spite of, even though 73% of them are homeowners, only 45% of us are. Boy, these folks was mad. Now, this is a celebration post to celebrate, what we're doing in the world. But they have to make it all about them. And they was mad. They get mad when I talk about, any type of, Black excellence or Black affluence. They get pissed. So if you're not on my Facebook page, I try to put really, really good content on there. Make sure you join my Facebook page, because and then I also have a private group of subscribers where I talk directly to with private subscribers where they get access to exclusive information, exclusive content inside my private subscription group inside Facebook. But go on my Facebook page and see what these people be talking. Go fight them. Go fight them. I actually love it because it shows, I like it when the roaches, I call them roaches. I like it when the roaches come out. I like it when we shine our light on the roaches because then, it shows who they really are. I'm not even talking bad about you. I'm talking positive about us, but now you mad. Like what? It ain't about y'all. Everything ain't about y'all. Some things are about celebration of us. And that's what I love. I love the celebration of us. And oh, by the way, what's up, Lolly J? First time from Memphis. I appreciate you coming, and make sure you tell all your friends what we here doing. We're here to talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. Okay. They don't want us having AA. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, sis. It gets on my nerves, but we're going to continue to celebrate us. We're going to continue to highlight and showcase us. Okay. No, Darlene, that is a Black business. If you are doing real estate, you are a business owner. You're an independent contractor and you're helping other people. So that is a business. How do they contact you? But that's the other thing. Okay. So I don't want you to just put your Black business on here. I want you to tell how they can contact you, how they can get it, how they can work with you. That's what I want to know. All right. All right. So check this out, y'all. What did you guys do this weekend? Okay, so before I get into it, I love to, Mondays, I like to see what y'all did this weekend. And again, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. I don't want to just tell you what I did. I want you to tell me what y'all did. So I did some pretty fun things. Like typically during the week, my life is pretty boring. I don't do a whole lot. I barely leave the house. I work from home. I coach from home. I'm pretty much home. But when it's weekend, it's pretty much outside season for me. So last Thursday, I didn't come live because I went to Aisha Brave Boy's inauguration. It was pretty cool. She had Taraji Henson there. She had the governor. She had all the dignitaries there. It was pretty cool. Now, I don't know if you remember Aisha Brave Boy, but she was on our show. She's a friend of mine. And she was on here and she was running for county executive. And county executive is this kind of like the mayor of the entire county. And so now she was a state's attorney. Now she got elected to county executive. And so I'm super proud of her. She's doing the damn thing, super down to earth, sis. So I did that on Thursday and Friday. So check it out. Let me show you.
Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Never stand still, that's the motto. Yeah. Brand new bands for the auto. Oh, foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like Lotto. Damn, y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Ball full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy. Boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't never do it, okay, how's this?
Hey, so that was her inauguration on Thursday, and then she had a little gala on Friday, and that we had a good time. The only thing I would say is I don't know if there's any Africans on here, but if you've ever partied with Africans, they don't like to get off the mic. So that was my only feedback. Is like, can you let these people sing? Because there was some Africans that was this African guy that was a host. But the cool thing is, it was at a Black-owned hotel. They have quite a few of those out here. It's a Black-owned hotel called Metro Point Hotel in I forgot. But dude was like every song he was ad-lib, and I was like, if you don't get your ass up off this damn mic. Okay, so Booker, you celebrated Juneteenth in Galveston. The celebration had over 300 people. I think that's where Juneteenth was originated, right? In Galveston, I believe, right? I think so. I didn't do any Juneteenth celebrations this year. And in DC, they got Juneteenth all over the place. And I think it's funny because in the Bay Area, we've had Juneteenth festival since I was a child. And the fact that it's brand new to a lot of people, I didn't realize that Juneteenth wasn't everywhere, and everybody didn't know about Juneteenth. But we've been doing Juneteenth since, I thought it was Galveston. We've been doing Juneteenth festivals when I was a kid in San Jose. We've had it in Oakland, San Francisco. We've had Juneteenth forever, but everybody is like brand new to some people. So yeah, that's what's up. Okay. So the other thing I did, you guys, is I learned to play golf on Saturday. So I live in a community where there's golf courses. Now, I used to live in a community in California near golf course, like right in the country club community. And I always wanted to join. And I always wanted to learn to play golf, but it was very intimidating. And the moment that I was looking at houses over here, the melanin had changed on the golf course. So when you come into my community, you see brothers out there on the golf course. It's a beautiful thing. And like the first time I ever came over here, I seen women driving golf carts. In my old neighborhood, it was old white men. So it's changed. So I've wanted to do it for a long time. And I joined this group called Queens on the Green. Now I joined them over a year ago. And I've never went to any of the events. I always felt like everybody's too advanced. I'll be in the way. Like, you know, so I never went to any of the events. And they finally had an event that I paid attention to because they're on this GroupMe app too, that all of my other groups are on, and they post all day. So I actually muted them, but I'm a premium member. I pay to be a member. And they had this event called Learn to Play Golf. I said, okay, that's something I could sink my teeth into. So I went out there with some sisters that, you know, I had just met, and I learned how to play golf. Let me show y'all. Let me show y'all. It's a little something. I mean, I got out there a little. Yes. Hella melanin out there. Wasn't nothing but melanin out there. It was great. It was beautiful. So I was able to go out there and learn some techniques. And I think I'm going to start going. Sorts. What sorts? What sorts? I don't know what that is, Jahari. But I learned to play golf. So that's what I did on Saturday. And then I didn't do anything for the rest of the weekend, but stayed like, what? Sports. I do sports. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? You trying to say I'm not athletic? I play ball. I played basketball. What are you talking about? I play sports. What do you mean? What is it that you are saying, Jahari? I play sports. That's what I do. That's what I do. I do everything. See, a lot of people are jealous. See, people like Jahari are jealous because I do everything. You know what I'm saying? I know how to play sports. Like I do, right? So don't be jealous. Don't be jelly. So that's pretty much what I did. So I'm going to get into it. But you know what? Before I do, we're getting ready to talk about some financial literacy. I had somebody, I'm sitting on the couch yesterday, y'all, and minding my own Black business. I get a text from somebody, and I want to know before I even start, how would you respond? Darlene, thank you. You know what? I don't care about jealous people. You know what I'm saying? Because jealous people, like, they just be jealous. They don't want the fact that I was telling April Sampay that the other day. You're just mad because I can do everything, and that's pretty much it. You just don't want me to do everything. Somebody, this is what she said. She said her friend goes to her, oh my gosh, does Constance rap? She's a great rapper, and she was like, now if you would have said Constance is a good bass player, I would have said yeah. If you said she was a good speaker, I'd have been like yeah, but rapper, no. And I said, April, stop the hate. Like, just because I can do everything, I can play the bass, I can rap, I can sing, I can dance, and I can golf now. See, listen, let me tell you something. Black Panther, you know what I'm talking about? People be jealous for no reason. Don't be jealous because I can do everything, because I can play sports and I can rap. It's how you can see kind of friends we have. You made a lot of money on the golf? Okay. And I do, see, let me tell you something. I do everything. I do everything. So let me ask you this question, though. So I'm sitting at home. Haters are our ladders to the top. Darling, you know, I love you, sis. I love you. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so listen. I'm at home minding my Black business yesterday, right? And I get this text out the blue. And I want to ask you a question, because this is real. How would you respond? Did I respond wrong? And I'm gonna show you the text. And then afterwards, I want you to tell me if I responded wrong. And then I'm going to tell you why I responded the way I did. But I want you to tell me. So, okay. So are you guys ready to look at it? I got a text out the blue. All right. You ready? All right. Take the banner off. Okay. Hi, Nisi. Who is this? Me, I'm in the green. Is this Warren or Nisi? Warren's my ex. This is such and such that used to be with such and such. Oh, how can I help you? I'm in a life and death situation and short $70 for my plane ticket. I said, out of everyone in the world you could have texted, you text someone that you've met once or twice 15 years ago that you've never communicated with before? This must be a scam. Oh man, this must be a scam. Please don't text me anymore. He says, it's not a scam. Call me. It's not a scam. I'm in a desperate situation. I say, then you must be on drugs. Bye. He says, what? Never mind. Our black people are so divided. No unity whatsoever. Shame. I say, explicitive. Don't text me. I don't know you. Lose my number. He said, peace. I say, out of here talking about black unity. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, how would you have responded if somebody you don't know out the blue, this man came to a New Year's Eve party at my house maybe 15 years ago. I don't even know how he got my phone number. 15 years ago. And he's asking me for money. $70 no less for a plane ticket. Block. All right, Booker. Okay. Hell to the no is what I would have said. Okay, Tamisha. Okay, what else? I mean, did I overreact? I normally don't really even engage. But the black ass audacity. Peace, bro. Then block. You would have said peace. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have. Same. Okay. Double A. Okay. You with me? Same response. Like, you did the right thing. I would have said far worse than that to that. Okay. All right. Because I was like, he seemed like he was on some BS. Crack is the BS. I don't know this man. First of all, how did you get my number? Okay. He came to a New Year's Eve party like 15 years ago. I only know him because he was with this girl that I know who went to high school with my ex-husband. Like, I don't even know him. And then you call me and you ask me for $70 for a plane ticket because he's in a life or death emergency. Now, okay, Mike. Okay. So I would have said, you just going to miss your flight. Why they do this? Gotta ask. So yeah, he had to be on drugs. You know, in my opinion, he had to be on drugs. Send him to grow your money. Bang. Damn, I should unblock him and send him the Grow Your Money link because he did. And then I text the girl. I text her because I don't even talk to her. Like, I know her, but we don't hang out. So I text her. I was like, I'm thinking it's a scammer, right? Because let me tell you why I reacted that way. Because people would text my agents, all of my agents. Scammers would text my agents and they would say, this is Constance and I'm in a bind. Can you send me some money? They would act like they were me. And a bunch of people, they text everybody on my roster. And so everybody will get these text messages and then they will text me. And then they'd be like, I'm in a meeting right now, so you can't text me back. I'm unable to respond. So then they will text me, be like, hey, Constance, did you text me and say that you needed some money? I'm like, what? And it will be scammers. They will just go down my roster. And one time, one of my brand new agents, they told her what to do. She sent $500. She went to the store. She got, they told her to get a money order. She got a cash, no, not a money order, my bad. A card, a Visa debit card. She went to the store and got a Visa debit card and she sent them $500. I felt terrible for her. And I was actually going to just give her the money, but it wasn't my fault. And I had really wrestled with it. I felt bad, but she should have texted me or she should have contacted me. My fake TikTok was texting your cousin. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of scammers out there. And so I actually DM'd his ex-girlfriend and she said, and I said, hey, is this your man's? I think that's our baby daddy. I think they ended up having a child together. And she's like, I could tell that's him because he talked about the Black unity. I said, okay, so he must be like on drugs. She said, I wouldn't doubt it. She said she hadn't talked to him in 10 years. So she was like, block him. I was like, done, sis. That's already done. But there are people out there. That will that have tried to get money from people in the past. So I don't have no mercy. I am relentless for people who who do stuff like that because somebody that I care about got scammed like that, and I don't want that to happen to anybody. But don't text somebody out the blue. 15 years, like I don't know you. Like that's how I was thinking. Like you don't know me. You just gonna take a chance and call somebody you don't know, text somebody you don't know, and ask them for $70. It could have been $10. It could have been $2. I would have had the same response. Like, you don't know me. Like, how dare you? You know, and I honestly already have people asking me for money all the time. And I don't have those same types of responses. Those are people who actually know me. But like, you don't know me. So I was like, either you're on drugs or it's a scam. And either way, you're getting cursed out. And that's what I used to tell my agents when those scammers used to text them. I'd be like, just tell them, you know, curse them out, basically. But anyway, before we get started, I had a great weekend. Hopefully y'all had a great weekend. I want to just tell you a little bit about what I do with the Grow Your Money Club, because the reason why I come live every day is because I want to add value to you in some way. So I have what's called the Grow Your Money Club. And if you don't know what the Grow Your Money Club is, have you joined the Grow Your Money Club yet? If not, why not? The Grow Your Money Club is a comprehensive program designed to take you through the complete wealth building journey. We don't just offer random courses, we guide you along a clear path, starting with fixing your credit and becoming a certified credit expert, to building your business, increasing your cash flow, diversifying your portfolio, and ultimately letting your money work for you. With over 30 trainings designed to increase your net worth, you get to either purchase the trainings individually or go through the 12-month roadmap. Here are just a few of the courses. From campus to cash flows, this is teaching your children to become real estate investors. The Wealth Map training shows you how to eliminate your debt, increase your credit, and diversify your revenue streams. You can learn to write your book using ChatGPT. Learn how to build your online community. What about 8 ways to make money using AI? Oh, and here's 7 online revenue streams to fund your $1 million dream. How about learning how to purchase tax deeds or land banks? What about getting started in government contracting? If you're a rookie, the Real Estate for Rookies training has everything you need. The Business Blueprint training will help you build your business foundation, get business credit, get business funding, and learn how to pay yourself so that you can scale your business to the next level. Or perhaps you want to create jaw-dropping video content using CapCut, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. There are so many trainings and master classes within the Grow Your Money Club, and I also drop 1 new training per month. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to invest in yourself, because guess what? You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. So if you don't know anything about the Grow Your Money Club, please join the Grow Your Money Club. Okay, so this is where I drop all types of tips for you to learn how to grow your money and not blow your money. All right, not quick tips. No, there's training. There's trainings that'll help you really increase your net worth. Somebody said on here, maybe a couple months ago, somebody who watches faithfully said, Constance, as a result of me listening to you, I made $2 million. I'm like, well, shit, what did you do? What did you listen to? What did I say? I need that $2 million. So, you know, I try to, like I said, try to always bring you something of value. Before I get started, let me tell you one more thing, y'all. Let me tell you one more thing. So I posted this on my Facebook page last night, y'all, my personal Facebook page. So I could, now my kids are some ungrateful, trifling ninjas. Just want to tell you, I'm going to put that out there, right? So yesterday I cooked dinner. Okay. I cooked this, it was bomb stew, chicken stew concoction that I made up. Right. So me and my 2 sons, my middle son is in California with my mom and them. And so I have my 2 sons here, my daughter's somewhere else. So I have my 2 sons. So I told my son, we're eating dinner, and I was telling him, oh, call your brother. So he calls his brother. And, so we're talking about, he's going to buy a car. And so they're talking about whatever. So I go out the room, right? Now I'm out the room. They're talking about whatever, basketball, whatever. So then my middle son says to my older son, what y'all eating? My older son says, oh, mom cooked this stew dish. My middle son says, is it nasty? Excuse me? Is it nasty? I mean, the nerve. This is why I hate my kids. That's why I say FTK. F these kids. That was his response. Is it nasty? First of all, I can cook. I can do that too. And I can do that very well. You know, it's another part of this whole idea of people being jealous of me, right? They don't want me to do everything in excellence. So they got to knock me down. They got to put me down in one way or another. And so that was just another way that, you know, somebody was hating on me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nasty. It was actually very delicious. But anyway, bastards. So I can't stand them little ninjas. Anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and get started on what we talk about. I just get so excited when I talk to y'all on Mondays, and I do. Shut up, Cool J. I get so excited, and I just want to tell y'all about everything because it's been like a few days since we've talked. But listen, we're out here grinding, we shining, we stunting. But let me ask you this: if your child has to start over from zero when you're gone, did you really build wealth? I remember one time when somebody came to my house. I had this beautiful home in California. I worked hard for it. And I used to have these great parties. And one of my friends came over. She went to high school with her. And we had this, we were having a party, and it was beautiful. And she gonna ask me, like, are you hood rich? I didn't even know what hood rich was. And I was like, what's that? And she was like, that's, I guess, where people like, they display their money, but they don't have any wealth. They don't have any assets. And I was like, hood rich, the hell. But I want to talk to you about different reasons why especially Black people lose their wealth after one generation. There's a saying that Black wealth only lasts like one generation, and then they end up losing their wealth. And there's 3 different reasons that I want to talk to you about, because I want you not to. The reason why I come live here every day is not so that you could just get money, grow your money, but it's so that you can build wealth, but not just build wealth, so that you can pass wealth. You can have a legacy. There's a difference between just making a lot of money, which a lot of us do, right? And being able to pass it and really create really generational wealth. Okay. So the first reason I think why people don't pass their wealth to the next generation is because we have this hood rich mentality where we buy liabilities instead of assets. I remember watching MTV Cribs. I don't know if you remember. Did you see this episode where it was Cash Money Millionaires? They had cars with fur on them. You have a depreciating asset with fur. I mean, just what a paramount waste of money. I don't know if you know that 75 to 85% of football players end up going bankrupt within 5 years after retirement. That's because of the hood rich mentality versus the wealth mentality. You see, we could accumulate a lot of money, but then we accumulate a lot of liabilities and not assets. When you drive a car off of a car lot, your car depreciates instantly the moment that you drive it off the car lot. That's why I don't buy brand new cars. And that's why mostly I lease my cars. As a business owner, I lease my cars. That's 100% write-off for me. So when you're putting your money into things that depreciate, that's not building wealth. When I was renting a house, when I moved down here, and y'all, it drove me crazy. Now, I made a conscious decision when I moved out here that I was going to, yes, that is the culture that was sold to us. When I made a conscious decision that I was going to rent for a year. That was the goal. Okay. And I'm telling you my business. So there's this area that I really wanted to live in, the area that I'm in now that I purchased a home in. It's a townhome. Okay. The rental market is crazy. Now, if you are an investor, rent has never gone down in the history of the world. So being an investor is always good. If you have tenants, it's always good because rents are always going up. Home prices may be cyclical. Rent has always gone up. So when I was looking for property out here, I made a decision. I was going to move in 4 months or 4 years. That was it was an abrupt decision when I made a decision to move out here. I was going through a divorce, a lot of stuff was happening. And I was like, I'm moving, and I'm going to move in 4 months or 4 years. So it was, okay, I'm going to rent a house at first for a year. And then I'm going to, then I'm going to purchase. And so I was looking for houses to rent, and I ended up, I was getting outbid on everything. And so people were paying 6 months in advance, and they were paying more rent than what they were asking for. That's how I was getting beat. So this house came up. It was this townhome. It was in the area that I wanted. It was only $3,200. I wanted it so bad. I had lost out on so many houses. Now I had great credit, great income, everything. I had lost out on so many. I was just like, I will pay $4,000 per month, and I will pay 12 months in advance. Okay. So $48,000 that I was willing to pay to rent these people's house. I was okay with it doing it for a year. I ended up doing that for 2 years and like 3 months. So that's over $100,000 that I spent on an asset that was not mine. It was just a place that I was laying my head. Now, I didn't fix up these people's house. I decorated, I put new fixtures up. Like I was like treating it like it was my own because I wanted the house to look the way I wanted to. But over $100,000 that I spent on somebody else's property that was probably already paid off. Now, when I look back at that, and I'm always thinking consciously about building wealth, and I'm spending money in something that's not mine. Oh my God, that hurt me. So when I think about, I mean, that's something that I did, right? That was a waste of money because had I even bought a townhome that year, that money could have went in that, right? If I would have just said, you know what, same area, because there was actually, well, there was a townhome that I actually was going to write an offer on in that same area too. And I think it was like 600,000 or 700,000 that, wait. Sorry, I got congested. I keep getting congested when I talk a lot, but I was going to buy it. I wrote an offer on it. It didn't get accepted. So it was just like, I had to hurry up and do something. And I only wanted to do it for a year, ended up doing it for 2 years. That's a paramount waste of money. Okay. So I'm always thinking about, and this is how we should be thinking, always thinking about things that we could put our money into that are going to grow our money and not blow our money. Okay. So that was for me, that hurt. That was something that I shouldn't have done. That's a really good. I wish I would have bought more land, AKA family estate. Yeah. So for a year, it ended up taking me 2 years to purchase a property. Okay. So now I planned in my mind, I could waste $48,000, but to be able to waste over $100,000 in somebody else's property that they probably already paid off 10 years ago, it killed my soul. So, we have to stop looking at putting our things into things that are dropping. Like, the things that, I was watching a podcast the other day, and this is so true. Last month was not a podcast. I saw a reel. Last month was prom season. And my kids' prom was like mine, regular prom. They got a tux and they went to prom. What I see online a lot is these people are spending thousands of dollars on proms. They're getting the Rolls Royces. They're doing the whole thing. And I'm like, shit, that's crazy. But what it also breeds is there is a correlation, is what they were saying, which I 100% agree with. There's a correlation on the people who spend this amount of money and poverty. You don't see people who have money that are spending all of this extravagant amount of money on a prom, on Bentleys and shit for a high schooler. And they don't have no money for a college fund. They ain't got no money set aside for their kids. They live in check to check. They spending their tax returns on having this extravagant prom experience for their child. That is how you blow your money. We got to get out of that impoverished thinking. There wouldn't be no way where I would ever think of spending over a couple $100 on a prom on one night. That just makes no sense to me. Like, where did this come from? How did this come? Like, why would you do that? Unless you can. Now, I got some friends who live in my neighborhood. They invited my sons to their daughter's 17th birthday last year. And they said the Sweet 16 was even better. Now, the 17th birthday last year, was her 17th? No, it was her 18th birthday. They shut down a club. They had Rolls Royce, Bentleys, but they have those in their driveway. They own it. They had two rappers there. And like, it was just like this huge thing. They can afford it. It's a drop in the bucket for them. But I can't afford nothing like that. I would never do anything like that for my children. For those of you who can't afford things like that, don't do it. If you are spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on a prom, but you don't own a home, or again, you don't have a college fund, you don't have money set aside for your children, you're losing. You're not winning. That is not a winner mindset. That is a losing mindset. And so we have to get out of being hood rich, and we have to really start thinking wealthy. Okay. So that's number one reason why Black people end up, and I'm not saying all Black people, but I'm just saying us as a people, we end up losing our wealth after the first generation. We work hard. We're doing, we're building our businesses, but we're letting all of our money go on stupid things. So we got to just change the mindset. We got to put it in things that are going to last. Okay. Number two, financial literacy. We have to learn. That's the reason, again, why 85% of football players end up filing bankruptcy within 5 years. You can't pass down what you don't know. So you not only have to teach yourself about money, but you got to teach your children about money. So these are conversations that we have to have. And if you don't know how to have them, then you need to learn financial literacy. And then you need to talk about money to your kids. How many of you guys grew up with parents that would not talk to you about money? Me. The only thing I overheard my parents talk about is bad credit. I just heard them say it. We can't do this because we got bad credit. We can't do that. And I didn't know anything what bad credit was. I knew it was stopping us from doing stuff. I knew it was ruining our lives. But they never sat down and talked to me about their money, how much money they made. Oh, that you better not ask no grown person how much money they made. Right? So we don't, our parents didn't teach that to us. We had to kind of just stumble upon it. You guys do things like listen to me and listen to Dr. Boyce and listen to other people who are trying to teach you different financial strategies. Most of us, we're winging it, right? It's never discussed. We never discuss money, period. We're just winging it. A lot of us, we're just winging it. We're learning on our own. But now that you're learning, you also got to share it with your children. The reason why they're not taking it is because they don't know what to do with it. So you have these people who built these great businesses, but their children don't even know how to run it, or maybe they have no desire to run it. So my goal for my children is to be able to take my business and go to the next level. I want you guys to take this shit and run with it. I built this foundation. Now I want you to get it and passing the torch. My oldest son, he's like, yeah, nah, I'm good. I want to forge my own way. My daughter, first she said that, then she's like, well, wait a minute. I am a Nepo baby and I will take advantage of it. My middle son, he's like, hey, you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea. So I am priming them right now to do things so that they can take over. My two sons, I'm putting them in trainings so that they can learn how to originate loans. My oldest son, he's taking a Series 6 training right now. Everything is about finance, financial literacy, how to build wealth. Okay. My youngest son, who's 17, I'm teaching him, he's working and taking care of some of my stuff so he can understand how to just get a foundation. But we talk at the dinner table about money. Not every night. I'm not going to act like that's all we do, but we talk about it, right? We talk about, I had a video last week. Me and my kids were out eating dinner. And, I just happened to catch them. I was just catching us, eating dinner. But my son is talking to my other son and he's like, okay, so what college do you want to go to? And my daughter's like, look, he's just trying to make some money right now. And he's like, yeah, but do you know what you want to do? Do you know where you want to go? These are the conversations that we have around the dinner table. These are the conversations that you have to be intentional about having with your children. What is it that you want to do? All right, well, what we doing? Where we going? Like my son, he had this job interview last week. Did beautiful. I was so proud of him. I showed you guys last week. He didn't get the job. He's devastated. And so so he called and he said, hey, I told him, I said, follow up and ask him what happened. Because I said, a lot of times it's not you. It's, maybe somebody they know, maybe somebody internally. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. It's about relationships. I'm teaching them those things too. And thank God I have good relationships with people. Now, my son messed up. Let me tell you, because speaking of relationships, I have friends who are connected. And so I think his freshman year in college, I connected him with somebody who was prominent, who was an attorney also who a lot of young people seek his mentorship. And he's very selective on who he works with, but he's a good friend of mine. And so I connected my son with him. Now he had a conversation with my son and he told my son to call him back. My son, he's supposed to call him at 1. He had an hour set aside for him. My son calls him at 1:50. And he was like, well, can't we just talk now? And he was like, no, we can't. And so he tells me, let me tell you something. Your son got in the front of the line because of you, my relationship with you. What our kids, he said to me, what our kids don't realize is that they're privileged by virtue of relationships that we have as parents. And he says, I'll talk to your son again. Absolutely. But you can't be involved. And he's going to have to call me directly. I'm not going to talk to him unless he takes initiative. And so now my son is going through this, right? And I'm like, there's 2 opportunities. There was another one I got him. He was supposed to have an internship last year with the state's attorney. He didn't follow up. That was last year. And so now he's getting ready to be a senior. So that was his freshman year. That was his sophomore year. Got to learn. Hard head makes a soft butt, right? I'm opening the door for you. You got to walk through the door. So this year, now he's trying to get these internships and now stuff is not working. And I'm like, I gave you 2 opportunities, son. I said, such and such already said that, the door's open, but you can't be mom. And he was like, what's his number? So he's going to call him this week. But that was a lesson that he had to learn the hard way. Because I think sometimes when you do have access and you have a little bit of privilege, sometimes you don't understand, you realize. And I'm glad that happened to him. That's a lesson. I'm actually happy that, and I don't want to say I'm happy, but I am happy that he's having these hardships, because I don't want things to come easy to my children. Things never came easy for me. And so I want them to have to work for things. I want them to have to go through some ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys. I want them to have some challenges. So, because what I tell them is, to whom much is given, much is required. So in order for you to get the great level of success, you're going to have to go through some things. You're going to have some disappointments. You're going to have some hardships. And so the other thing is, well, mom, everybody else is getting internships like this. Everybody else. And hey, listen, comparison is the thief of all joy. Don't compare yourself to nobody else. You have your own journey. Same thing I tell my daughter, you have your own journey. So when my daughter has a full-time job where she's managing a co-working space, well, one of the things I used to have in California was a co-working space. And one thing I plan to buy out here is another commercial building so I can have a co-working space. And so she's like, she's talking to the other co-workers, and, the co-workers like, yeah, this job sucks. And so she's telling me the stuff that the co-workers are saying. And I'm like, well, you don't have the same destination as them. Okay. I don't want you getting caught up in the gossip of the people at that company, because this may be her best. This may be the best thing that ever happens to her. This is not the best thing that ever happens to you. This is your school. You are learning. You are there to learn. You ain't there. Your journey and your destination is not the same as hers. Okay. So you don't even look at things the same. So yeah, she's telling you, she's dumping all of the little job gossip on you, and I don't like the way they do that. Yes, you're learning, because what's going to happen when we have our own building, you're going to have to manage that. You're going to have to know how to manage these people. To whom much is given, much is required. I want you to go through this because I want you to see how all of these different scenarios play out, and I want you to be able to manage them. Okay. So I don't want you to look at this job like everybody else. This is not your final destination, girl. Your goals are way bigger. Your destiny is way bigger. So these are the conversations that I'm having with my kids. I want you to think bigger. I want you to struggle a little bit. That's good. That's not a bad thing. I don't want you handed everything. Yes, mommy, I worked hard to get the connections and the things that I have, and you have access. But now I bet you now, my son gonna learn he gonna know how to step up when I give him access. In fact, I went golfing. I told you I went golfing on Saturday, and there was a young lady there that does exactly what he does. So he's a finance major on a pre-law track. This young lady, she got to be about 28. She's a finance major on the pre-law track. So I said, I want you to talk to my son. She was like, absolutely. And she wants me to mentor her. Absolutely. You mentor my son, I'll mentor you. We even, Stephen. So guess what he's doing today? He calling that lady, because now he knows I cannot let these opportunities pass by me, because I've already let a couple pass by me. Now, luckily, he still has the opportunity to save himself. Nothing is too late. None of this stuff is too late, but I'm glad he had to go through all of this in order for him to understand. Okay. So these are the conversations that we need to be having with our children. Now, I'm not saying that I do everything perfect. My kids talk shit about me. You know, they trifling and lazy and awesome and amazing. They're all of those things. They're the things that all teenagers are, all young adults are. You know, they have not arrived. I have not arrived as a parent. But these are just some things that I do to make sure that I'm instilling this level of wealth mindset in my children. When that oldest son was 12 years old, he told me my biggest fear in life. He's 12 years old. He said, my biggest fear in life is that I won't be successful. I'm like, here you are. And we were at my office. I'm like, here you are 12 and you're worried about being successful at 12. Wow. You're going to be successful, son. That's what I told him. His biggest fear. And we talked about that the other day. He still has that fear of not being successful, but it's like, no, that's your motivation to be successful. You absolutely will, because you want it bad enough. Teach your children to want success, to want wealth as bad as they can breathe. Okay. Ain't that what's the hip hop preacher's name? That's what he said. As bad as you want to breathe, as bad as you want to live. Right. So whatever it is that you want to get, it's attainable, but you got to get it. You got to want it. And then you got to do it as bad as you want to breathe. And so that's the things that we teach. Now as a mother of adults, and thank you, Charisma. As a mother of adults, I don't parent at this point. I'm not parenting them. I parent the only one that I'm parenting two of them. I'm parenting my one who's a freshman in college. She's going to be a sophomore. And I parent him, and I parent my youngest son. But Eric Thomas, thank you. But my oldest two, I just advise. I'm not parenting them. I'm advising them, because at the end of the day, they're making their own decisions, right? I just advise them on the direction I think that they should go. I provide them with opportunities. I give them access. So my kids they have met some of the greats. They can call up Dr. Boyce Watkins or Les Brown or Dr. George Fraser or Lisa Nichols. They have access to those people. I've introduced them to them. They've seen them up close and personal. They know them by name. They know my children by name. So that's important, giving them access to see, there's some folks that are doing some shit. There's some folks that are doing some great things out there that I could aspire to be. I've taken my daughter to conferences since she was 13. And one thing, I took my oldest son to a conference last year. And then I was out with Boyce and Dr. Boyce and his wife, Dr. Alicia, and I had brought my youngest son. And he was like, are you bringing him to A, B, and C? And I said, no. He said, why not? And I was like, why don't I bring the rest of my kids? I'm absolutely bringing all of my kids. Why didn't I think that I should be bringing my boys as well as bringing my daughter? My daughter, she knows people, she's networking. And that's another thing is Hampton University. Great. They teach them how to act. They teach them how to dress. You cannot come on campus wearing sweats, hoodies. They will pull you to the side. Our Hampton men, our Hampton women don't dress like that. I love that for my son. Now Jackson State, it's a little different, but Hampton is great for that. But my daughter knows how to network. They teach that at Hampton. They know how to. My daughter she could sell me better than she was at the last conference selling my books, and I was like talking to somebody. She was like, "You ain't even saying it right, Mama. Move. I got it." I was like, "Okay, move out the way and let you do your thizzle." But it's real. So like my children. You got to groom them. You have to put them in this. And, sometimes it might not be something just for the youth, but let them be in the room with greatness. Let them be in the room with greatness. I appreciate you, Tamisha. I really do. So let me give you the third reason why. Okay. Dang. I've been talking that much. Lord Jesus. All right. So I'm going to give you the last reason, but my producer says that we should do a quick little commercial. So really quick, let me just tell you a little bit about one of my passion projects, which is the Net 7 Collective. I do this with women from all over the country, and I'm excited tomorrow I'm going to announce something about the Net 7 Collective. But I do this with women, Black women all over the countries, because I'm helping them to be able to increase their net worth by 7 figures. And this is a real passion for me. So just so you know a little bit about one of my passion projects, in addition to the other things I do, this is one of my premier flagship programs that I do.
3 or 4 years I've been praying for a business coach. I knew that a coach, I read many times that all the most successful people have a coach. Coaches have coaches.
I've learned how to purchase land. I've learned how to do overages in real estate. And I even learned some different things with credit, that I've gotten my credit cleaned up with my bankruptcy, that I'm almost in my home stretch. Doing everything right now and applying it.
I finished 2 ebooks. If I could do it, anybody can do it. And started a nonprofit.
Gotten more out of this than I ever anticipated.
Constance has done an amazing job at placing systems to allow us to understand how to prosper in our businesses.
I'm telling you, I would move heaven and earth not to miss one of these sessions.
That's my ladies. And we have almost 80 women who have gone through the Net 7 Collective. So if you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman that wants to be coached directly with me, and I'm showing them how to increase their net worth to over 7 figures. If you know somebody, have them schedule an appointment with me. They can go to net7bbs.com, or you can go directly to bookwithconstance.com. And we can schedule something out for you for us to have a conversation. I have a vested interest in the Black women who I work with. And so I'm excited about just sharing some of the amazing opportunities that we have. And we're getting ready to have some more coming up. All right. So the final reason why Black people are not passing their wealth or it doesn't last throughout generations is because of they're not protecting their assets. So 45%, and that, again, I said that on my Facebook page yesterday, on my business page yesterday, 45%, I was like, give us a round of applause, because despite of predatory lending and redlining and, urban renewal projects that have destroyed our neighborhoods, when we are building wealth, 45% of us are still, so nearly half of Black folks are wealth builders. And that's, they've gotten a 400-year head start. We've literally been in the game, with, I don't even want to say uninhibited, because there's still predatory practices that are happening. So side note, if you are looking to purchase property, work with somebody who you can trust. Banks have been fined billions of dollars, even to this day. I'll do a post about it later. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all these major banks have been fined for predatory practices against minorities. But 45% of us are homeowners. The problem is we're not protecting our assets. We're going into probate. And when you have a home that is an asset, I don't care what anybody says, your home is an asset and it is not a liability. Why is it an asset? Excuse me, because you have equity. That's the reason why I was just so cringy when I wasn't building wealth. I'm always looking at ways that I could put my money and build wealth. Well, you have a home that is an asset, and it's really an asset if it's an investment property, because not only do you have cash flow, but you have equity. And that's the thing about it. And so most people aren't protecting their assets. I've told you guys a story, and if you're new here and if you never heard this story, I want to say 12 years ago, maybe 14, 15 years ago, back in 2011, 2012, I moved into this affluent neighborhood. We were the only Black people. We were the onlyest Black folks that lived in this neighborhood. We were the youngest and we were the Blackest. Okay. So when I moved into this neighborhood, I was trying to see, I was looking around trying to see who lived here. I wanted to see who my neighbors were. And when I went to go look them up, I couldn't find who was actually, who my neighbors were. Why? Because everybody had their homes in living trusts. What the hell is that? At this point, I'm in real estate like 10 years. I didn't even know what a living trust was for. I didn't know the protections, right? And so, when I moved into this neighborhood that I'm in, which is an equally wealthy or maybe even a more affluent neighborhood, which is all Black, majority Black people live over here. When I went to do the same thing, guess what? I was able to find out who everybody was. You know why? Because nobody had a living trust. So while all these Black people are making all of this money, nobody is protecting their assets. So when they die, their homes end up going into probate. What happens with probate? It ends up taking years. Sometimes people lose the property. So it goes into probate. And then probate is costly and it's time consuming. And then you have people who are fighting over your things. So I have clients who I've seen them fighting over mama's house because mama didn't have directives of what should be done. My mama always said, people get to acting funny when it comes to death and money. My mama that was one of my mama said a few right things. And that was one right thing that she said, because I've seen it firsthand. As soon as somebody dies, in my mind, you would think, oh, this should bring us together. Life is short. We should be in harmony. Everybody should be loving each other because we just lost somebody. No, the claws come out. People start stealing jewelry. They start stealing furniture. I got to get mine because mama wanted me to have, and mama didn't have no directives because she did not have a living trust. Now, there's even some celebrities, but this happens with regular people. James Brown died in 2006. His legal battle lasted over 15 years. That man was on ice for 9 months, I think? They didn't even bury him for like 9 months because they were battling over his estate. Hundreds of millions of dollars, 15 years. Aretha Franklin, she died in 2018. Her will was discovered. It was a handwritten note, and your will could be a handwritten note, but that's not a living trust. Her will was a handwritten note stuffed in the couch, and it was discovered. Her family fought in court for 5 years. She had a disabled son. Everybody was fighting over her stuff, her business, everybody fighting. Prince died in 2019. Now, this is still suspect, because how does he have hundreds? And Prince seemed to be pretty savvy, but he had no will and no trust. It took his estate 6 years to settle. John Singleton died in 2019. No, Prince died in 2016. John Singleton died in 2019. He had a trust, but he hadn't updated it in over 20 years. When he made the living trust, he had one child. When he died, he had 6 children. It took 3 or 4 years for them to settle his estate. Okay. His estate was only worth a couple $1 million compared to the hundreds of millions of dollars to James Brown, Aretha Franklin, and Prince. These were multimillionaires who didn't protect their assets. So if they didn't have their business in order, then what about us? Wealth with no structure, it just becomes chaos. So we have to think about what this does for our families. Your children, if you do not have some type of proper planning, your children will end up hating each other when you die, because now it's chaotic. Number one, we don't know what mama's life insurance is. So we have no idea where to go get this stuff. I have a free download on my website. It's called the Personal Information Organizer. If you go to ConstanceCarter.com, I think it's under books. I'm actually updating my website now, y'all. So I think it's under books. At the top, go to books. I'm going there right now. And then, or is it under store? Scroll all the way down. Yeah. So if you go to books, go to Personal Information Organizer, download this free download, and this is going to help you to be able to have everything all in one place. One of the things that is important for me, what I try to do is I try to see where the gaps are. Okay, what do people need, and how am I able to fulfill their needs? Okay, so one thing that I've seen with my own eyes is folks is looking for insurance. We don't know where their insurance is. Okay, well, write everything down. Write your passwords down to your bank accounts, all that stuff. Have that all in one place. So if something should happen to you, your loved ones have access. Okay. And the second thing is you have to have a living trust. There is a saying that a will be contested. What does that mean? A will is just directions. Okay. It's just like Aretha Franklin wrote that will on a piece of paper. That's admissible in court. Absolutely. But it can be contested also. A living trust is pretty much done. So when I sell a house with a house without a living trust, that could be a 2-year process. Then you have somebody from out of town who didn't take care of mama. Now she want to have say, she want to contest everything. I don't want to sell mama house. You ain't paid for nothing. We out here struggling, and you have say. Yes, she does have say. And the judge can rule in her favor if if he so decided to. So having a will is only instructions, but having a living trust, when you have a living trust, when I've had clients who've had living trust, I put their house on the market, we close in 30 days, no problems at all. Okay. So another thing that I've done, so that go to my website, go under books, go to personal information organizer, get that free download. Okay. The second thing I did is I was updating my living trust a couple of months ago, and I was telling you guys about it. And I was like, you know what? I already had a living trust, but when I purchased another property and I sold some property, all the other things, been divorced, I had to update my living trust. And that's another thing you need to do is once you get a living trust, you need to update the living trust. But I was doing it with Chat GPT. Same format, ironclad, all the things. But I was like, you know what? Living trust costs anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000. And most of the people that I know can't afford that. They can't afford an attorney to come do a living trust for them for $1,500 or $3,000. I have a same living trust that's ironclad that was done by an attorney. I just redid it using Chat GPT, and I show you how to create your own living trust on my site. It's $20 download. Go to makemylivingtrust.com. You can download this instructions on how to create your own living trust. I also show you how to record them, because it's not just important to have a living trust. You need to get it notarized, and then you have to have it recorded in the county that your property's in. So go to makemylivingtrust.com, download this ebook. It's $20. So you are saving $2,000, $3,000, because like I said, living trusts are anywhere between $1,500 and $3,000. My best friend called me the other day. I was like, you don't listen to me. Obviously, she doesn't listen to my podcast. She called me the other day, was like, hey, is this right for a living trust? So you know I got an ebook. She's like, what? Girl, if you go to my website, obviously you ain't listening to me. But you know, and they were charging her like $3,500 for the living trust. And she was willing to do it because she knew the importance of it. Her mom passed away. Her mom's house was in a living trust. She has a house in San Francisco. That house is worth millions of dollars. She didn't have a living trust yet. I'm like, you remember, girl, you don't want, because she's a notary. You don't want to notarize my shit. She was like, oh, yes, girl, if you don't get this living trust, go to my website, go to makemylivingtrust.com. It's $20. Get your living trust. Now, some attorneys may say, oh, you need to go through us. This is because they want your $3,000. Literally. This is literally the same living trust that I have that I got from an attorney. So go to makemylivingtrust.com, $20, download it. And hundreds of people have already downloaded and created their living trust. I have what I believe on there. I have what states, how do you record them? Where do you go record them? All that. So everything is all in that. I took, after I had this conversation on the podcast with someone, I spent my whole weekend creating this for you guys. Because again, I wanted to have an option for you guys to be able to have, because everybody can't afford the $3,000 that sometimes it costs, or the $1,500 if you can find somebody that can do it for cheap. Okay. So this is important. And Karen, I'm glad that you were talking to your son about this. It's important. So not only do you do this for you, do this for your family, because the whole thing around building wealth is ensuring that we are protecting ourselves, and is ensuring that we are passing this on to our next generation. There was actually, you know what? I'm going to show you guys. There was actually a video that I did. I do these. If you're not on my page, make sure you're on my page, because there's these Black History spotlights that I do. And there was one about, let me go to Facebook. Let me go to my Facebook. I'm going to show you this Black History spotlight about a Black woman who had accrued like millions of dollars in assets, and it was taken by the state of Mississippi, I believe. Watch this. Let me show y'all. And shout out to the 6 people who are watching from my from my Facebook page. Hold on. Let me see. Where are the videos? Okay. These are all my videos. So if you're not on my Facebook page, make sure you on my Facebook page. So it's on one of my Black History spotlights. It's not any of these. It's real. These are videos. Let me go back. And shout out to all the people who just started following me. My page has grown significantly over the last few months. I had 100,000 for a couple of years, and now it's at 190,000 people followers. So thank you if you just started following me on here. Let me see. And this is where the trolls come out too, y'all. So if y'all want to come fight somebody, come over here and fight somebody. All right, come over here and fight some of these roaches that be on here mad because I talk about Black wealth. Let's see. Where is it? It's basically, oh, my daddy's calling me. Basically, it's this woman. Hey, how far was it down? It's this woman who accumulated a bunch of wealth. Oh, you know what? It was one of my top ones. Where is it? I should have already had it out, but I just thought about it. Oh, this one right here. Watch this. Uh-oh. I should have only shared. Hold on, my bad. Hold on. I'm trying to multitask. Hold on. Share screen. And unapologetically generous, who quietly amassed a real estate empire worth over $100 million. Her name? Eula McClaney. But I bet they never taught you that in school, did they? Because while she was building Black wealth, they were plotting on how to steal it. Born in 1914 in Alabama, Eula McClaney turned a $125 investment into an empire. She owned land, buildings, hotels, and even horse farms. She built property in multiple states and became one of the richest Black women in America. But she wasn't just rich, she was righteous. She donated to HBCUs, helped fund civil rights efforts, and used her resources to lift her people. She believed in Black self-sufficiency, land ownership, and legacy. But she passed away in 1986. But instead of her wealth being passed down to her heirs or her community, the state took it. Yep, you heard it right. After her death, Alabama declared her retroactively incompetent. After the fact, they allowed the state to seize her estate, liquidate her assets, and block her loved ones from inheriting the empire that she built. Millions gone. Property sold. Legacy erased. Why? Because she died without a will, without a trust, without the legal protection that's necessary when you're Black, when you're wealthy, and a woman in America. That wasn't just financial mismanagement. This was theft in broad daylight. And it happened to us more than you think, through probate court, through shady guardianships, through policies built to rob Black families of generational wealth. But here's the lesson. We don't need to just build wealth. We need to protect it. You gotta have living trusts, wills, power of attorneys, LLCs, and life insurance. We need to have that paperwork as tight as the portfolio, because what happened to Eula wasn't just tragic, it was preventable. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to know this Black. Yeah. So if that could happen to somebody who's amassed that amount of wealth, what do you think that can happen to you? So it's imperative, y'all, that we are protecting our family's wealth. How do we close the wealth gap? And you know, that's my passion. How do we close the wealth gap? We have to put proper provisions in place to ensure that we're protecting. If you have one property, you don't have to have millions. If that property is worth $10,000, it does not matter. Put something in place. Get a living trust so that you can protect your assets so that it can be passed on to the next generation. Okay? So that is my plea to you. Whether you do it through me or you go through an attorney, I mean, $20, like $20, like, and I've helped celebrities with this. Okay? But $20, you take this and you build your living trust and you're protected. Protect your assets. So those are literally the three things that I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. So listen, you were the one who broke generational curses. You are the one that you didn't just make money, you made a legacy. Don't stop at the paycheck. Don't stop at six figures. Make sure what you build, it lasts long after you're gone. Real wealth ain't loud, it's lasting. When you think about the Rockefellers, they have dynasty legacies. That's legacy, that's wealth. Dynasty trust. That's wealth that goes hundreds of generations. And they did that. One thing I do with my children, I told you, I have a life insurance policy that generates compound interest. My marijuana dispensary, the money goes from there to the insurance policy that generates compound interest. That's their money. Create something for your children that's their money. Okay. Legacy is the loudest flex, y'all. All right. So before we get out of here, I want to give you the woke tip. And then again, the Grow Your Money Club. Okay. I'm showing you how to go from being an employee to having your money work for you and being an investor. So sign up today to the Grow Your Money. Go to growyourmoney.club. Number one. Number two, if you are a woman or you know a Black woman, I have the Net 7 Collective, where we are helping to black women to increase their net worth by 7 figures. This is a private, exclusive community for Black women. So if you are a Black woman, have them go to net7bbs.com or go to bookwithconstance.com, schedule an appointment with me. Okay. And thirdly, I'm getting ready to do another Bring Your Idea to Life training. So I'm going to do a free webinar in July. Okay. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. And so I'll have a flyer out, but for those of you who have an idea, you want to take it from ideation to monetization, I'll help you do that. So I have a free training coming up. So just be on the lookout for that. I don't have that yet. And then I'll be rolling something out for Black women all over the country. And I'm excited about that as well. So again, I'm always trying to look at things that you guys need, and I'm trying to just fulfill those needs for you. But I want to shout out my girl. She say what she want to say. She says what she wants. This is Shar. And go check out her Miss She Says What She Wants. She got about 1 million followers, and she is the #1 female advocate for men. And child, she don't be cutting no slack on the women. I'll be seeing her posts. I'm like, ooh, but she's doing a lot of amazing things. So follow her as well. And y'all, listen, I want to end with this the woke tip for today. So I'll see you tomorrow. I enjoyed talking to you. Same bat time, same bat. Welcome to the Woke Minute. It's your girl, Constance Carter. This is where we will drop quick tips to build wealth, seize opportunity, gain knowledge, and empower your legacy. If the next generation has to start over, then you didn't build wealth. You just made money. True wealth means creating systems, teaching the game, and putting protections in place so your legacy lives on with or without you. Wealth isn't just what you leave behind. It's what you teach while you're here. Stay ready so you never have to get ready. That's your woke tip, because when you stay woke, you stay wealthy. Get your Stay Woke t-shirt at conversationtees.com. Listen, I was just looking at a message from my dad. Let me let y'all hear it real quick. Let me see. My daddy. I love my daddy.
Good morning, dear. I didn't really want anything. It just ran across my mind. I just thought I'd call you to say hello and I love you. Talk to you later, baby. Bye-bye.
Why, daddy? I love you too. I'm going to call my daddy right now. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.